4 months ago, this was the regular sight. Coach Bud and Jusuf Nurkic just chatting it up. When Coach Bud was hired, one of the first things he did as the coach of the Suns, start building their relationships. Heck, Nurkic even asked Coach if he wanted to come visit him in Croatia. Coach Bud and his family actually showed up, something Nurk told us his teammates never did in the past. They spent days together. Coach Bud even joked he'd show up there every summer. Now the duo don't even speak to each other. They don't talk, no relationship. That's the latest drama. Nurkic telling Suns beat writer Dwayne Rankin of the Arizona Republic the two have not spoken in months.
What?
I find hard to believe. Nurk obviously unhappy. He started 23 games before being benched earlier this month. We know he's really struggled this season, so no surprise. He hasn't played since January 7th. Nurk is on year 3 of a 4-year, $70 million contract. Nurk not holding back when asked about his head coach. Quote, "We don't have a relationship. For me, just be a pro and do the best I can. Work and stay ready for whatever might be, because there is no chaos or bringing that to this team. They already have plenty of it." When asked if he thinks he's going to be on the team after the trade deadline, February 6th, quote, "Yeah, for sure, because we are the Phoenix Suns and all the rules. It's not easy to get traded when you're over the second tax apron." He knows that. Even I can't control that. Guys, who would have thought less than 2 weeks to go before the trade deadline? We'll be talking about Bradley Beal, but Jusuf Nurkic makes all the headlines as he kind of rejoins the team. Doesn't play, but at least is back in the locker room. Interesting comments. Lena, what'd you make of him?
I'm really kind of shocked that this relationship has seemed to have soured after the offseason visit to Croatia by Mike Budenholzer. And Jusuf Nurkic said that was something that was unlike any other coach he's played for. He didn't specify what that meant, but I guess that means that someone did what he said he was going to do. And whether he liked it or not, Mike Budenholzer is doing what he says he's going to do now, which is give the bigs an opportunity to earn their minutes. And that means maybe Jusuf Nurkic is not the guy to be on the floor.
Neither of you told me that my first season covering the Suns would be like watching a soap opera, because it seems like it's something different
really
every single night.
Yeah, it's must-see drama.
It really
Best
is.
reality TV there is.
Here's the thing, though. Nurkic, upset at playing time, complains to reporters. That goes obviously nuclear on social media. What other team is going to want that in their locker room? You already have the contract that is unjustifiably high. No team's going to want that. And now you have a guy who this is what the relationship could turn into. I think Nurkic just made this a whole lot harder on himself to get traded and harder on the Suns to get him out of here.
And Jake, to your point, like, he did this to himself. There was no accountability whatsoever in how he's played this season. I want fans to remember, like, why Jusuf Nurkic is here. And that's because of this kind of same thing happened with Monty Williams and DeAndre Ayton. Like, people wanted DA out of town, and rightfully so. DA was never going to reach that point here. He had a kind of a ceiling. They brought in Jusuf Nurkic, traded for him. He was supposed to be the savior at the center position, the guy that was going to hustle, that was going to show hard, that could make a layup under the basket, that would attack the rim. He had it gifted to him. All he had to do was go out there and play, and he's not done that very well whatsoever. And that's what was missing in that entire thing from Nurkic to Dwayne Rankin, was just some accountability. Listen, I get it. You and your boss see things differently. You don't agree with playing time. It's not the first person in the world to disagree with their boss on something, and he's being professional. He's showing up and going to work. But the thing is, there is zero accountability, at least publicly right now, from Jusuf Nurkic on any of this. And I think that's where he fell short big time in addressing any of this.
And now the Suns all of a sudden have a player, Nick Richards, who is doing everything that Nurkic wasn't, hustling, being super aggressive down low on the boards. And so Nurkic at this point is just keeping the bench warm.
Real quick, guys, get your head around this. Simple questions. Is Bradley Beal, Jusuf Nurkic on the roster come trade deadline? Lena?
Well, Bradley Beal has a no-trade clause. He's one of the 2 players in the league, along with LeBron James, who has one. So maybe it's just Jusuf Nurkic on the move.
All right, Jake?
Man, I'm not in the prediction business. I don't really know. I think the Suns are trying their hardest to trade both of them. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're going to find a partner for either.
They are trying their hardest to trade both of them. I think you have to figure out a way to get both of them off the team.
Well, let's talk some good news with the Suns. Devin Booker better be an all-star when the reserves get announced on Thursday and our countdown continues. Book had 18 points last night. He's now 145 points away from becoming the Suns' all-time leading scorer. He'll likely reach this mark within the next 6 games or the next week and a half, really. So take a look at the list. Book is chasing the late Walter Davis. Crazy thing is, when he catches Sweet D, he'll do it in at least 100 fewer games. Book is just 28 years old. Yeah, really impressive. His 10th season with the Suns, the only team he's been with in his NBA career, and he's the only person remaining from that 2021 NBA Finals team.
Why you got to bring that up, Lena?
Because he's one of the greatest Suns we'll have.
If not the GOAT. Suns rookie Oso Ighodaro is living the dream, playing for his hometown team alongside like future Hall of Famers, a bunch of them on the roster. But the NBA newbie is no stranger to winning.
Yes, Ighodaro went to high school just 30 minutes away from where he plays as a pro, and folks who knew him back in the day saw the star quality back then. And in tonight's Sunday Showcase, 12 Sports journalist Jake Garcia is bringing us in on Oso's origin story.
Oso Ighodaro has experienced success at every level he's played, and that includes a storied prep career at Desert Vista in Tempe. His senior season had plenty of challenges, but it ended with one of the most dominant performances in Arizona high school hoops history, and it set the stage for his rise with the Suns. Oso Ighodaro is approaching the peak of his profession. Halfway through the NBA season, a summit experience so far for the Suns rookie.
Oso again!
But like any good trek to the top, Oso's climb started in a valley. The Valley of the Sun, to be exact, and Desert Vista High School was base camp.
I saw him walking around campus. I noticed he was, pretty tall for his age.
A lanky, gangly freshman who would soon turn into a phenom. Varsity basketball coach Gino Crump Sr. said there were no age or weight requirements to play on his team.
If a kid comes into the gym and he's got a diaper on and a pacifier and he's able to get into class and admitted into school and he can shoot and play ball and rebound and play defense, he can make the team.
Oso not only made the team, 3 years later, he was the team.
I said, look, if we win this, it's going to be on you. If we lose it, it's going to be. And he accepted the challenge.
Oso had reached the Final Four in 2 of his first 3 seasons. Senior year in 2019 meant it was time for a title. But at the midpoint of the mountain, a roadblock that almost ruined the quest.
All new tonight on 12 News at 10, an update from the Tempe Union High School District. They have recommended that the Desert Vista High School basketball coach be fired.
Crump has had 5 years to reflect on the incident.
I was suspended for attempting to break up a fight during the St. Mary's game. I touched one of my players. I pushed him to prevent him from getting into a fight. And unfortunately, that turned out to be a bad decision on my part. A lot of the parents and the community came to my aid. A petition was started to save my job. School board reinstated me. I was able to retain my job and continue to coach Oso.
Oso was an inspiration.
He was a motivation, him being a senior, because I knew that was his last opportunity to win a state championship, and I wanted him to go out on top.
Go out on top and go down in the record books.
And the Desert Vista Thunder are state champions.
Oso did more than win a state championship. In the title game, he put the entire team on his back.
He really took over and showed, I'm the guy.
Junior point guard and co-captain Marcus Wadey said it was as close to a perfect game that someone could play.
Ighodaro with the finish.
Oso finished with 32 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 blocks. Marcus said he had seen enough.
And seeing him mold into what he became senior year, when he finally put the weight on and started to kind of get that more dog mentality, that's when I kind of noticed, okay, he's got a chance.
Oso looks at it as more than a chance. Maybe it's fate.
My goal my whole life has been to win at all 3 levels. I won in high school, won Big East championships in college, and to win an NBA championship would be a dream come true.
A return to the Valley as a pro, not part of the descent, but instead the start of another climb.
I'm just trying to be a sponge, learn as much as possible, and I have good guys that have my back, so all I have to do is just listen and be ready.
His high school guys expect to see him at the high point soon.
When God made basketball players, they made Oso.
In Phoenix, Jake Garcia, 12 Sports.